Welcome to hell.
Hello and welcome to the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast. I'm Matt. That's Jeff. Tonight, we got our very good friend, Mr. Brandon Hans.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys having me.
Ah, thanks for coming on, brother.
Absolutely.
How are we doing tonight? Good?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good.
Awesome.
I just had a day of teaching, and now had some dinner with the family.
Oh, very cool.
I'll put the kids to bed. Now I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
It's a good
Rock
night.
star life. You know?
That's a good night, man.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's amazing how it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go play this show, and then the next day you're mowing the lawn. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, that's great.
We all do it.
You look back like, what happened to me?
I've been saying that a lot lately.
You're on the front lawn mowing
used
and
to
going,
sleep
kill
so
me.
Oh yeah, 11. Jeez, 1 o'clock. Now
Right,
it's like
yeah.
7:30 if I'm not up. I'm gonna be rushing all day.
I wish I had 7:30.
Let's talk about how you got into music.
How did I get into music? My earliest memories of kind of studying music or thinking about that is going to the Ocean County Mall, and my sister took piano lessons. I think it was Baldwin maybe at that time, and she
Oh,
took
what, in the mall?
in the mall.
I think that was Freehold Music.
Maybe it was Freehold Music.
Yeah.
In the Ocean County Mall.
Yeah, in the
That's
Ocean County
a
Mall.
lot, isn't it?
It is a little weird, but that was the owners. I think you walked in, that
There was
one
like a
door?
loft.
Yes, it was Freehold Music.
Yeah,
I
that's-
took lessons there when I was a kid.
Yep, my sister took lessons there, and then eventually she started taking them at home, and that's when I started taking them as well with Miss Bergeness, and she's gone now, but she was an awesome teacher, and so I used to take piano lessons after school, half hour back to back with my sister, and it was great. And my mom played guitar. She played acoustic guitar, and she played a lot of Beatles stuff. And I remember the first song that she ever played that I just was like, wow. It was Eleanor Rigby, and I was like, because it was like, I don't know, something about it. There's a minor key, it was in a minor key, and I was like, this is like so cool and so intense. It's like, and so I asked her to teach it to me, and it's only basically like E minor and C, or at least you can get away with that. So it was a good first song to learn. So that was the first song I ever learned on guitar, and then my mom had a bunch of like Beatles books that had chord charts, and back then, like the book was like $3, and it had 150 Beatles songs in it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, like I can play everything I want as long as I learn chord charts. So she taught me how to read chord chart, and then I learned a lot of my open chords that way, and then beyond that, I started in I believe it was 4th grade taking trumpet lessons. My sister, kind of followed in my sister's path. She learned saxophone, and I was like, well, I can't learn saxophone because she's doing that. I got to do something different, and so I learned trumpet. And so I took trumpet lessons from 4th grade all the way through my high school year and senior year in high school, and all that while, well, not all the whole while. The whole while I played trumpet. I did marching band, I did jazz band, concert band, all the bands.
So you were a band guy.
I was a band guy for sure. And I also, I did sports and everything, but I went all the way up to freshman. I played freshman football at Toms River North, but at the same time, I was playing in a rock band after school. And football practice was after school. And then marching band, if I continued playing football, I would have to play football at halftime, go play in the marching band, then go back to playing football.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. So I, and I was all right. I played right guard, offensively, defensive end. I was punter. I was basically Iron Man football playing offense, defense. And so, I had a decent shot at playing, and then of course I stopped Then my sophomore year, they win the state championship. So I could have rode the bench the whole year and got a big fat ring, but that's okay.
We're not going to dwell on that.
Yeah. But my real thing was that I was in a rock band outside of school, and we used to play like 3 times a week after school, and I just really wanted to do that after school. And so, you know, I did take electric guitar lessons, you know, for a little bit, probably in my intermediate school time. But when I got to my senior year of high school, I said, you know, what am I going to do with my career? What am I going to do in the music business? Because that's what I want to do. And I said, well, I heard horror stories of like Billy Joel and his manager and bad contracts and, you know.
The usual stories.
Yeah. And just like not knowing what you're getting yourself into and, you know, really giving it your all and getting pennies, you know, and while other people are just making all the money. So I was like, you know, if I'm going to be serious in the music business, I better go to school and like learn the business. So I looked up different schools and I found William Patterson University, and they had a degree in music management. And what I really liked about it, it wasn't like an arts degree, it was a music degree. So you had to audition for an instrument. It wasn't just an arts or, you know, degree. So I was thinking about doing piano. I was thinking about, you know, what could I do? I was like, well, I've already studied trumpet this long. So I got in on trumpet. I auditioned, I got in on trumpet. And then, you know, I love playing trumpet, but not at that level. You know, at that level, you're going against people that play 7 hours a day. That's what they do. That is their thing. And I said, you know, I'm more of a singer, guitarist, pianist, you know? And, you know, I met with the choir director, Stephen Bryant, and he said, you know what, why don't you take a semester of lessons with me, and I'll train you to do your audition, and you can transition to classical voice. And that's what I did. So I transitioned to classical voice, and then I studied the rest of my college in that. And I also love piano. I met a really great piano director, Frank Pavese, and I added a classical piano minor. But all the while doing music management. So you have all the ear training courses, composition, piano, basic, you know, everything. And but you also have law and contracts and accounting and ethics in the music business.
We don't want to deal with.
Right. But when, you know, it's like, I'm so glad I learned all that stuff, you know. And when I graduated, I managed a little bit, managed some bands, and I was able to help them write contracts for venues. You know, I knew how to do my own taxes, which was great. You know, and I started my business in my 3rd year of college, Dreamscapes Music Productions.
That was next on my list to ask you about.
Yeah.
So we might as well just go right in
Might
with
as
that.
Might as well.
He segues himself into the next
No, it's
question.
just great. Yeah, sit here. I'm going to have a drink. Hold on.
So yeah, I started that when I started teaching, you know, and you know, I was working at Outback Steakhouse, just like, you know, the regular, you know, I waited tables, and when in high school, that's kind of my first like real music gig. I started doing open mic night at Cool Beans Coffee House.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in Toms River, we're still there. Shout out to Cool Beans. But my band used to play there too, you know. So you know, I deep history with those guys, and then. So when I graduated, well, I was in school and I was waiting at Outback Steakhouse, but then a good friend of mine owned a music school that was in a mall, a music store, but they did lessons as well. The Music Den in Denville. Awesome guys. Thank you guys. And they were like, why don't you teach and make money? I was like, well, I really never was interested in being a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, it never crossed my mind. You know, I never wanted to be like a band director at school, you know, because I grew up in that, and I know the kids, how they treat their band directors. And, you know, and I was like, if I ever taught, I would want to do it like a college level, or like everybody there that wants to be
You
there.
want to teach adults.
Yeah. Like be serious. Like, let's do that. And so I was like reluctant at first, but I was like, well, if I'm going to work, you know, let's do something in music, you know? And so I tried it, and it turned out I absolutely loved it, you know, and it just brought me back through my life of bringing, you know, growing up and finding the love of music. And then I started teaching voice, piano, and guitar, and then after I graduated, you know, Denville's like an hour and a half away, so I would only work on the weekends. And at that time, my mom, who's always been there, you know, finding music stuff, she looked in the newspaper and saw that the Music Academy, you know, was looking for teachers downtown Toms River. So I applied there and met Rob and Tony, and you know, hit it off, and and at that time I had like a 7-inch beard, you know, and so I appreciate you guys taking me on and not being scared. So then I eventually, you know, I was commuting, like doing weekdays here and an hour and a half, stay on the weekends, and crashing at my friend Kurt's place, and you know, but then it got, so I had enough students here, and I came here like fully, and then you know, still under Dreamscapes Music, you know, as a subcontractor, and worked there until 2012. And then 2012 I said, you know, you guys are awesome, I'll love you guys forever, but I gotta go on my own. So I started teaching out of my home studio and in Lacey.
Okay.
And I've been doing that and building ever since, the music thing. And now I have a you know, I moved very close by, built a home studio, and we have a good number of students, and everybody's doing great. We actually have a showcase on June 19th. Okay. That's going to start at 10 a.m. It's got about 50-something acts, 55 acts, and all great students, all different levels. You know, people that they just started 3 months ago playing, and they're playing whatever they're working on. It doesn't matter what level. And then we have, you know, people that have been co-writing with me and songwriting, and you know, we're putting out, you know, basically debuting a song that's going to be on iTunes.
Well, okay,
that they can,
that's awesome.
You know,
That's awesome.
the whole gamut.
So okay, so I'm going to back up a touch.
Sure.
So you kind of come from a musical family.
Yeah.
I'm saying. So your mom played, your sister played. Okay. So then we went to all the schooling and all that stuff. We get to you starting Dreamscapes. Now, I've worked with you a couple times with my other band. You know, what are some of the things that you do besides, you know, the lessons, maybe recording and putting out the song? Like, you know, I know you put on shows that you had local guys come in and play. You know, are you still doing that? Is that something?
You know, one other thing, you know, when I graduated, I started the Original Music Showcase at McIntyre's Pub, and that's how I met you guys.
Yeah.
Right? What glorious times.
I know.
We
It
used
was
to play there all the
glorious
time.
times.
Glorious times.
I remember some of those nights.
Remember some nights? I'm like, how'd you do that?
I had a long drive home, so I couldn't be that banged up.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, just my love of original music, you know, because I've always been a songwriter. I kind of left that out, but you know, ever since I learned how to play music, I wanted to write my own, you know, because I grew up listening to the Cure's like amazing lyricist, and Metallica, and Nine Inch Nails, and Rage Against the Machine, all people that had like lots to say, you know, and very poetic and just aggressive but beautiful. Paul McCartney, Elvis, Michael Jackson, like all those people, you know, a huge influence on me today. Weird Al Yankovic, you know, the poets.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
He was a wordsmith.
oh my
He definitely
goodness,
was.
I love him. Yeah, so sure.
There you go. Yeah.
Come on. But yeah, so I decided, you know, and I did it a little bit before McIntyre's. I did it at Cool Beans.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, and I would showcase an artist. I didn't want to do an open mic night because
You never know what ruffians
you
will
don't
come
know
in.
you don't know what's going to happen. And I did it for a long time, and I just wanted to do something different where, you know, I would book 3 solid acts, give everybody 45-minute sets, and you know, run it like a show, but not have it like a competition. They never wanted to do a battle of the bands.
Oh yeah, no.
Because all that does is pit bands against each other.
Oh, yeah.
When that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing as a musician.
Jersey shows.
Jersey shows.
They used to do that shit all the time.
Yes, I remember. So basically it's like who could sell the most tickets and who could badmouth the other band the most. You sell the most tickets, you're the best band. That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't really work like that either.
It's not, and then what happens after the show's over? You're going to book a tour with this band that you really liked but couldn't admit. You want to network with these bands. These bands are trying to make a business out of their band.
Yeah.
Those are the people you want to befriend.
And the best promotions when you get like another band goes, oh, you got to listen to these guys.
Yeah. Oh my God. My fans really like your fans. Wait a minute. My fans really like your band. Your band.
Yeah.
Wait. Why don't we play the show together so they all come and they watch both of our bands. They don't just come for our band and they leave. Let's do that. And then the bars say, oh, wow, there's a lot of people here. There are still a lot of people here. We should book these guys again.
Yeah.
And then you have a venue. Yeah. It's like...
Well, that's been the music scene for the last, I'd say, 5 to 8 years. As people come out, they see one band, and they go home.
Yeah.
Nobody comes out to see a show anymore. They go out to see the band that they were baited in to go in to see. Yep. And then that's it.
And I think that was different about what I did at McIntyre's. After McIntyre's moved, it wasn't big enough to do the full bands and the three things and switching out and everything like that. And, I tried it a little bit at different venues, but, I started having children, and they wake up early. And, and also my school was building. As far as doing original shows, I have, started, we've invested in live stream stuff. So I'm going to, on the down low, because I don't know when I'm going to start doing it, but I am going to start doing it. We're going to be doing a live stream original music showcase night.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Out of the
You
studio.
heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I haven't really said much about it.
Breaking news.
But yeah, it's just a matter of time. And because right now I got a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And I got to put them first.
I'm lucky. Mine are 12 and one's about to be 16, so they want nothing to do with me.
So you got free time.
Yeah.
My daughter's about to be 6 and she wants nothing to do with me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but as far as other things besides teaching, Dreamscapes is a production studio as well.
Okay.
I have several artists that they don't come every week like lessons, but they'll call me up and say, hey, I have this idea for a song, and do you want to co-write it with me and produce it? So I work a lot with Grinding Gears, Michael Goldie, and Robert Urcanon, and a Werewolf is a pretty consistent client, but it's a wonderful thing, and a lot of others. I'm sorry, I'm not naming everybody, but they come in, they call me. We usually do night sessions because that's when I have my free headspace where I can create. And we'll co-write a song together, or they'll say, hey, I wrote this song. Can you help me produce it? And they come in. They say, okay, these are the chords. But I don't want to play guitar on it. Can you play guitar on it? So, and then we'll put, track drums, bass, guitar, keys, any synthesizer stuff, whatever, we want accordion. I either bust out the accordion and pretend to play it, or I'll just play it on the keyboard.
There you go.
But aside from that, I also do film scoring. I work a lot with Garden State Productions. We did a couple short films.
Nice.
And other things that aside from the film scoring, which I'd love to do more of, and I just don't push it right now because of my time. But pretty soon.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, I think now in TV and film, that's where money is for music. It's not shows, it's not touring, it's not. It's like, I mean, I have a story where it's like I've had a couple thousand plays on the radio, 10 seconds on TV, and the scale definitely does not balance out. No. So it's like, well, wait a minute, 10 seconds is But so I really think it is shifting to TV, film.
Absolutely.
You know, you're going to make a good dollar
if you do it right.
Yeah.
And if you have the wherewithal to know how to register all your stuff. And that's one thing I do with my clients as well, because you have to know what an ISRC code is. You need to be with performance rights organization. You need to copyright your stuff. You need to be able to tag everything. You need to know what to look for. You need to know that you shouldn't go to exclusive contracts. You got to do non-exclusive contracts. Like what is all that, and how do you navigate that? And I think that's a big reason why a lot of people have so much difficulties making money in the music business is they make it very difficult to make money.
They want you to
Well, a lot of people also want to try to make money just playing in a band, and there's no money playing in a band. Unless you're constantly selling out your merch every show, you're not making money.
Yeah, you got to be touring, and you got to be really good at sales.
But you got to be touring on a huge level to make money from the tour.
Yeah.
Like if you're just doing like a tour as a normal band, you're making your money on your merch.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah.
And that, that's a lot. And you're not going to make any money with Spotify and all that.
Oh, no.
I look at
tens of pennies you could get.
Tens of pennies. I know. It's like, the year end, what did all my artists make? And I'm like, who wants pizza?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing good about that is you can see not who clicks, but how many clicks per song. And if you're like shotgun approaching, you can kind of see, okay, don't go in that direction. Maybe more this.
Right.
There's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
In that, but
how did I release this?
Yeah.
What is it about this song that people like?
2 weeks ago, we checked out. Me and him put out a song about a year ago, and we never really promoted it. It's like a little side project we have, and we looked it up. I think it's made like $3.27,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to always keep in mind.
Oh yeah.
Because I've we all try different things, and if you ever try to force yourself to do something that you think is going to make you money because that's what you think you're supposed to do, don't do it. First of all, you're not going to be satisfied.
How good of a fake are you? That's the whole thing. You're like, oh, this guy's faking it. No, that's pretty good. It looks like he actually likes what he's doing.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, that's part of the success of White Rabbit, my band White Rabbit. People are like, how do you pick your songs? Like, why what makes it, what doesn't? And I'm like, well, we have to like the song. I'm not going to perform a song that is a struggle for me to learn. I will if I have to, if it's like a first dance song. But most of our repertoire is because, wow, I really love this song, and other people do too. I'm not going to play.
Yeah, it's also got to keep the room moving.
Yeah, I'm not going to play like a deep cut of Depeche Mode that nobody's ever heard.
Some kids are like, Depeche what?
Depeche who?
Exactly. So, are we segueing again?
We are going to segue right into White Rabbit, my friend.
See, he did it again. All right, I'll be back. You guys don't need me.
Yo, pick up some beer. There's a fridge over there if you need.
Nice.
So you're in the band, or you are the band. Which one is it? Is
No.
it like a community thing, or
It is.
Okay, that's cool.
It is.
So
You're just kind of, I guess, the
band.
face of the band, really.
Well, I don't want to say leader because that's a very weird thing to say about a band that's supposed to be a unit. You're the creator of the vision. Would that be fair? Would that be fair?
So, after I graduated school, I came back to Tom's River, and I was free. I hadn't been back to Tom's River in 4 years. And I didn't have a band. I didn't have. I was just I recorded an album. I labeled it Brandon Hands because I really wanted to establish myself. That way. I just wanted to make music the way that it was supposed to be, because when you're in a band, you're locked to those people and the sound. So with my original music that I was writing, probably like I want to say year 4 of my college, so 2004, I believe it was. I had all these songs that I said, okay, I want to record this album, and I called it Time to Relax. The first song is called Time. The last song on the record is Relax. So I called it Time to Relax. And so we went to Cool Beans Coffee House because they're family, you know, and
So you got a history there.
And I got a history, and I was like, what a perfect, I did a live album there, and I recorded it live, me on the guitar, me on the piano, and I went back and forth, had a show, everybody had a good time, recorded it. It was engineered by Peter Gary, who's a great friend of mine, and he does fantastic work in the music business. And then when I graduated, I stayed in touch with a lot of people from William Patterson, and instead of making it a band, I called it the Group Project, and I said, Jimmy Donachie from my life, bands in high school, I want you to play on this track. Connor McCarthy, I want you to play on this track. Sean Lango, jazz guitar shredder, I want you to play on this track. And, oh, wait, I need a trumpet, I need a trombone, and a sax. Hey, you guys know a sax player? Let's use you, And so, we put this thing, and there's 23 different musicians on the record, and I called it One Hit Is All I Need, and it's a lyric from one of the songs on the record. But I'm super proud of that record. I went to Brooklyn and recorded it with Martin Bisi, who produced the Dresden Dolls, and he did stuff with the Ramones and Iggy Pop and a bunch of other cool guys. And he's an awesome guy. And I played in this band for a little while. I was playing keyboards on that Triton that you just fixed for me.
Ah, nice, nice.
Hashtag Canyon Music. And the reason why it's a little beat up is because I used to bring it down in basements in Manhattan, playing these stuff, in the Village for Martin Bisi, and what a cool ride that was. And what's up, Martin? But anyway, so after doing aside from the original stuff, I said, okay, I got to do cover band too, because that's part of what I am and what I do. So I was in High Velocity, and I was seeing this band. And I'm not going to say the name of the band because I might say the wrong name. But
okay. Yeah, we can bleep it out. I saw beep.
I think it was Moondoggy. You can bleep
I kind of remember that name.
Yeah, I mean, they still play.
Do they? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so old now. Like some of the bands that I knew, like when I was maybe, yeah, totally. They're like all gone.
Yeah.
Like shit.
But anyway, the bass player, I was watching him like the whole night, and he was playing this like upright stick bass, electric stick bass, and I was like, that thing is freaking cool. And I was like, what is that? And then he took his break, and I, I'm got nowhere to go. I was, free, out of college, no school. Anyway, so I was talking to him, and I was like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, oh, I'm playing in the band. And I was like, yeah. And he starts asking me what I do. And at that time, my focus in life was jingle writing, for, commercials, which I still do, and that's another part of the production, which I was going to say, writing jingles for businesses, for radio. And he was like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, I do that as well. I'm like, what are the chances of that? And so he wrote like remember the Old Time Tavern?
Yeah.
He wrote their jingle and a bunch of other ones. And so he's like, oh, we should meet, we should meet and talk about this, and maybe we can write together and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to his house, and he was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing like a duo, like a smaller thing. Would you want to do a duo? And I was like, well, I've been dating this girl, and she has an amazing, amazing voice. And I was like, if I do start a band, I want to bring her in. I want her to be a part of it. And he's like, all right, well, let's, set up an audition and pick a song and we'll play it and we'll get to know each other and see if it works. So, I talked to my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, Nicole.
Guess that worked out.
Yeah. And
great plan, dude. Great plan.
And she still sings in your band too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you're getting to the end of the story.
Sorry. I got excited.
Don't jump ahead.
So we picked "Somebody to Love" by Jefferson Airplane, and we go to his house, and I got my acoustic guitar, and he's got his acoustic bass, and she sings, and I don't know if you ever heard her sing, but it was like a no-brainer. Like she just killed it, and he calls me. He's like, "Oh, this is great." And we chatted, and he called me when I got home. He's like, "Wow, that was really great." He's like, "I really want to do this." He's like, "What do you think of the name White Rabbit?" And I'm like, first of all, I'm a big Alice in Wonderland fan. So that was good there. And then obviously White Rabbit, Jefferson Airplane has that song. And so, it has a feminine tone to it, but it's still rock and roll.
True.
And it's a color and an animal. So it's like really memorable, So I was like, yeah, that sounds good. So Billy Bang Bang Mercadante, he's the one that thought of the name. So we played together as a trio, just practicing, and we were going to play our first gig on Memorial Day that year. And he brought his friend that played drums, and we started playing. He was instantly in the band. So then we became a 4-piece instead of a trio. And we did that for a long time.
That escalated from a duo pretty quick.
Yeah. But then yeah, exactly. And then I was playing all the guitar, rhythm, lead, and then I was also playing keyboards and singing, and it was just like too much. So it was at a breaking point for me, and I was like, let's get a lead guitarist, please. So that's when we brought in Sean Lengo, who played on One Hit Is All I Need record, and then we did that for a long time, and members changed, and then eventually Billy decided he had to stop. So I wish I was better with dates. I want to say like 2007,
Okay.
12. I have no idea.
That's a big jump, but
We're
okay.
we're gonna cut that part out.
If we don't remember our date, you cut that shit out.
Yeah,
Somewhere in the last 15 years.
But yeah, I mean, I could look on Facebook, or I'd actually probably look on MySpace and figure out the dates.
MySpace? That's
No.
still around?
No, it's not. What a travesty. What a travesty. But our band right now, the 5 of us have been together, I would say 8 to 10 years.
Well, that's good. That means you guys have like a nice gel going.
Yeah. We're really good friends, and it would be really hard to change now. So I mean, we really get along, and but let's talk about MySpace real quick.
Oh boy. Okay. We
Real
can talk
quick.
about MySpace.
My friend Tom.
Yes. So this is part of why Original Music Showcase was so successful, because it's had this thing where, and this is how I found all my bands until I built up, you could say 10-mile radius of Tom's River and type in blues band, and like 20 blues bands would pull up.
Really? Oh,
And
wow.
then I could just message all
Every
of
single
them.
one of them.
Or I could put rock. And I was like, okay, let's find all the rock bands. You get a lot of cover bands and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But that's probably how I found you guys.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
It's crazy. But yeah, it was the greatest thing. And then when they sold it, they changed that whole thing and just made it all about the big money artists. And,
Oh, yeah.
It's very sad.
You still have. I thought what made you guys famous was the cookie jar thing. Didn't you have a cookie
the
jar?
lion, feed the lion.
Yeah.
You still
Feed
got
the lion,
that?
feed the band. I still have it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Get your hand out of my cookie jar.
That's awesome. I remember that.
I do remember that.
T. And that was my childhood cookie jar.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
We had cookie jars in my kitchen forever.
That's awesome.
So you guys play a lot of what? Jersey Shore. I know you do some weddings. You know, talk about how you kind of got it. Isn't that like kind of a gear change to go from like, let's say, whatever bar?
Yeah, get like a bar cover band to a wedding band.
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, I mean, we used to do the whole, you know, for a long, long time, the 10 o'clock to 1:30 shows, you know, and they're very, you know, they're very bar-y, right? They're very bar-y, you know, so it's a different style of music. We've kind of, you know, strategically moved to the 6 to 10, 7 to 11, you know, first of all, because of children, you know, and you know, I don't want to be out, you know, getting home at 2:30 in the morning and up at 5:30 in the morning, you know, it's just not fun for me to do, you know.
I don't think that's fun for anyone.
No. And it's been the best change, you know, and all of my life in my business, I've always done the philosophy of slow and steady wins the race. So, you know, when we started saying, hey, you know, we really want to do weddings, we didn't like, you know, we always, it was a slow and steady build, you know? So we kind of gradually, you know, started learning how to do it, you know, and we'd play for friends, you know, we'd play, you know, one wedding a year, you know, and put like 3 months of effort into, you know, this one wedding until we learn how to do it and, you know, how to, you know, talk to the venue, how to talk to the event coordinator at the venue, you know, how to do a ceremony. What do? You know, we've all been to them.
Yeah.
But who's paying attention to when the acoustic guitar player starts playing? You know, does he start 10 minutes before, you know, when they start seating, you know, when did they stop, you know, and you learn these things as you do it. And now we're at the point where we can justify, you know, our rate, you know, we've been slowly, we didn't come out guns blazing and say, hey, you know, we're $10,000 band for your wedding, you know, wait till you see us, you know, but, you know, I think we're reasonably priced, you know, we're into the $3,000 to $4,000 range. And
not for long, not
currently. But you know, it's something I really like to do. And the other thing is when you book us, you're hiring us. You know, people want White Rabbit because of who we are. You know, you're not going to hire us and say, you know, can you guys play all these big band songs for the whole night? I'm like, hire a big band, you know, hire, you know, the ones with all the horns and everything like that. We're a fun party band. We do, you know, songs that are going to appeal to everybody, you know, and that's another way that we pick our songs. You know, we pick, you know, stuff for young people, older people, you know, current stuff, classic stuff. Maybe we'll throw in a little curveball here and there, not at the wedding.
Yeah.
I'm sure just the difference between the bar cover band and the wedding cover band is just the sheer amount of songs you have to have at, you know, like the drop of a hat.
Right. And that's why we take care of that way in advance. You know, we're not going to ever be like, you know, a jukebox at your wedding.
Yeah.
You know, we present our song list, and you know, we say, look through this song list. Tell me anything you don't want us to play, because if you know, the groom had an ex named Eileen, you know, we don't want to play "Come On Eileen" at your wedding, because it could ruin the night, you know? So, and then people say, oh, don't play Sweet Caroline, right. And everybody else is like, you better play Sweet Caroline, So, and those are the things that that's why, part of our wedding package is consultation, and that's me, So I talk to the bride and the groom, and I say, what do you want? What is your dream wedding? And how can we make it happen? And that's why I call it Dreamscapes music. And my little motto is where dreams and music come alive. So if you're a musician that wants to learn how to play music or become a more musical, just as that, to have that in your life, so you could sit around a campfire, let's make that happen, and play songs for your friends or on your boat, or do you want to write a song? How do you do it? Well, here's a list of my 180 songs and 200 co-writes or whatever it is now. I don't even know. But, how do you do it? What's the process? Or, this is a cool thing. I am a qualified provider for the Division of Developmental Disabilities. Okay. So, what is all that? All those words.
It's a lot of words.
It's a lot of words. So basically, there's a program in New Jersey, and it's the Division of Developmental Disabilities, and they provide funding for people with autism, Down syndrome, general learning disabilities, and all of them. All of the disabilities. So when you're, in that category, you can, as long as you're an adult, it's for adults, you can get funding provided. And so, I applied, I showed them my school and how I run things, and I was accepted as a qualified provider. So I've been doing that for a number of years, and, I have, people with autism and Down syndrome that have come leaps and bounds. Billy Wiesneck he's recording an album in the studio, and David Mulvihill, he recorded a full-length record, all of original music, and now he goes out and plays bars. He plays Breakers, which is where the showcase is on June 19th, and a couple different venues, and he should be really proud because, it's difficult to navigate the world that we live in with autism. And, and to be, when I see a student that goes from just, I want to learn how to play guitar or become better at it. And, basically said, I want to sing and play better. And then he started building the set list and was able to memorize everything like no problem. And then all of a sudden he had 3 hours of music. And I was like, it's time to go on a stage.
Get on the road.
Yeah. And his mother and brother are really supportive and help him out with gear and bookings and stuff like that. And very, very proud of those.
It's a great guys. Creative outlet.
Yeah. So.
All right. I like to do this little segment of your best and worst gig ever. What was so memorable where you walked away and went, I cannot believe that happened, or it doesn't get any better from here?
Those wheels are turning right now.
There's a lot in there.
I know.
I remember, and I'm going way back, and there's been so many great moments, but I'm going to go way back to high school, and we used to play coffee shops, and different open mic nights and people's backyards, but, and I don't know if you remember this, but there was, I think it was teen night or original night at Joey Harrison Surf Club.
Oh yeah, I remember that very well. That's where I started out.
And we played there, and the stage was huge, at least in my mind.
Yeah.
And it was pretty big, and for some reason it was packed. Like, it was packed. So, I mean, I'm out there, and then we start playing, our original music, and then everybody's into it, and I'm like, what is happening? And then I'm like, and then we play like Black Sabbath, and I think it was like War Pigs we were playing, and everybody's like, yeah, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. I guess that was like the first time I ever really felt like a rock star.
Yeah, you got the juice.
Yeah, and it was just like unexpected. I think that's the best when things like happen that you're not expecting. I was just thinking it was going to be like a regular gig, and then it was like, we're like kicking ass. It's like, this is so cool. Now the worst.
Oh yeah, the worst. Oh. Everybody's got good. Whether car broke
everybody's
down
got a bad one.
Yeah. Piano fell over during a solo. I don't know.
Let's see.
You made $75, but you drank $175 worth of tab. Something. That's not bad. We all did that.
Oh man.
I've left many shows with a negative balance.
Yeah. Well.
Let's see. So this actually happened not too long ago.
Ah, nice.
So I, play similar local venues, that are close to my house, and I have the studio, and I have my gear that I have to rip out of the studio and bring to the gig, and I get to the studio, I get to the show, I'm like, I got a half an hour, plenty of time. It's just a solo gig. I set up everything, and then everything's ready. I'm going to sound check, and then I'm like, there's no microphone. So I had everything set up, my guitar, everything, except I had 0 microphones with me.
Oh.
So I'm like,
oh fuck.
I'll be right back. So fortunately I only lived like 7 minutes from the venue, so pedal to the metal. I get back,
Sweating.
I have my mic, and I'm going on the stage to play this like mellow solo show. I'm drenched, dripping in sweat. I'm like,
I'm here, I made it.
Was down at the New Amsterdam, staring at this, and start playing. And everybody's like, why are you so sweaty? And that's kind of like my signature move, though. I just sweat.
There you go.
I'm always drenched.
That happens.
So, yeah, that's not the most interesting of stories, but
it's all good.
It's just, I don't like, I like to get there early. I like to just make sure everything's good. And when I have to, like, run last minute, that's like, super stressful.
Yeah.
So after that gig, though, I said, and I need to invest in some extra gear so I don't have to like worry about taking stuff in and out of the studio. So now I have like a go bag.
There you go.
And it's like
everything I need is
everything I know is in there. And after the gigs, I put it back in there and I put it in the garage and I don't touch it. And that's just my go bag for my solo stuff.
Got a gig. I got to take that.
I'm getting stressed thinking about
it. We're coming out of this whole COVID thing that's going through.
Yes.
Now, being in Lessons studio, I mean, I know I didn't let anybody in here probably for a good over a year. Mm-hmm. So this is all still starting to be new,
Yeah.
How did that affect Dreamscapes, you personally, as far as being a musician? Because, man, it feels like somebody just shut the light off for like a year. And now all of a sudden they just flipped it back on. It didn't dim. It didn't it just off, on. Like it's very rat racy. Like, how's that affecting you?
It was a little different for me. It wasn't so hard-lined because just the way I've been doing music business, I never put all my eggs in one basket. So I was always gigging, but I wasn't just a gigging musician. And I know a lot of musicians that are, and they gig 4 or 5 nights a week, and that is their income, some 6 or 7, some 8, they do double gigs on Saturdays and double gigs on Fridays. And it's like, and then all of that stops. That's terrible. So fortunately, I'm a teacher, and the majority of my income is from lessons. And so so when the writing was on the wall that the world was shutting down, I went virtual with lessons.
Okay.
And fortunately, because I have DDD students, Division of Developmental Disability students, I was already doing it because a lot of those people don't drive. So they're relying on Ubers or family friends to drive them. And when they can't get a ride, it's not fair to say you can't have a lesson.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to make it up. And then how many times is that going to happen? So with all of those students, I said, okay, what's your virtual option? So we were doing either FaceTime or Facebook Video Messenger or Zoom, Skype, which actually we're really doing Zoom because that kind of came out when the world shut down. Yeah. I wasn't really doing that, but it was an addition. Mm-hmm. So when it happened, I had the confidence to tell everybody, this is how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to work. And it's going to be great. So did I lose students? Yes, definitely. I took a huge hit. But it got me to have everybody with a virtual option. So the students that stayed, which were a lot, they, now that we're back in the studio, if they can't get it, they got a sore throat. They're just tired that day.
That option's always there, yeah.
They don't have to miss their lesson. So, silver lining of this, it's a terrible thing that is happening, still happening. Yeah. But the silver lining is now everybody has a virtual option, and it's part of their sign up. What's your name? What's your phone number? Email? Virtual contact.
Okay.
It's on my sign up sheet now. So, as far as lessons, they're coming back. So that is wonderful. Now that it's a little tricky this time of year for lessons because baseball season's starting. And the summer is a little tricky. Yeah. But, that's another reason why I have my showcases. It gives people, something to do in the summer. I have the showcase on June 19th. People don't want to miss it. It's the first live showcase. That's another thing. My last live showcase was December of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so right before shit hit the fan, yeah.
Yep. So we had the showcase, and then after that, I said, we still got to do showcases, guys.
Yeah.
So we did virtual showcases where everybody from home, they filmed themselves, and they sent it in. We did all the editing. We did YouTube playlists, and we still made it a big event. We had everybody tuned in. And it was really nice. And
that's cool.
And a lot of people said to me it's like thank goodness you didn't stop your lessons because this really got us through this really.
It was
hard
retaining
time.
that little bit of normalcy.
Yeah, because a lot of people had things they did on a regular basis. My daughters were in dance. No dance.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to do. So you're also staring at the same people all the time. It's really nice to FaceTime with somebody that's not in your family, not in your circle. So it was nice for me too. It was like I still got to connect with the world, even though I was still in my house. Mm-hmm. As far as gigs disappeared.
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
Absolutely disappeared. We had weddings booked that we had, I remember one was in September. I'm sorry, the spring. They said, okay, well, this is going to last at least a month.
Yeah.
So let's push it to July. So okay, so we moved that wedding. The other one let's move it to September. Okay, let's do that. You know, everybody's going through crazy stuff. All right, let's move it to October. Okay, you know, and then it just kept it. Let's just wait. You know, and so now this year, fortunately, we have been getting calls for weddings. You know, and you know, we're pretty booked through October.
Well, that's good.
You know, with the band, with the venues, you know, because fortunately we support, you know, we, you know, do takeout from the venues, and not that like that's like you know, hey, we'll do this for you if you do this for me, but you know, we're friends with the places that we play, you know, and we stay in touch with them, and you know, we're always honest with our venues, and you know, we always promote, and you know, when they, you know, came back to life, you know, fortunately we were one of the ones they called, you know, and got back into the routine of things, you know, so
that's a good thing. I mean, you know,
so, you know, it's good. Yeah, it's a good thing. We're in a good spot. So, you know, and also gigging isn't the only thing that we do.
Yeah.
You know, we all have other jobs, and you know, and if the bandmate doesn't have other job, you know, they're also playing solo. You know,
yeah.
So
I know a lot of cats that do that. They'll play solo and have a band too, or vice versa. Like, oh, you need what time? Oh, yeah, I could do that, and then still make it too. Yeah.
We're filling in, doing sub work.
Yep.
You know, or studio work.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man,
it's been a ride.
You got everything on your list?
I'm good. I'm tapped out.
All right, we'll give you the same final question that we give everyone.
Okay.
You could do it from the cover band aspect, the original music aspect, simple musician aspect. If there's one thing you could change about the music scene, what would it be and why? It's the same thing we get from everybody. Ooh.
It's like, which way do I want to go? I want to tell you all to go fuck yourselves.
We got a couple of. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, change about the music scene.
Yep. Be anything.
I know, but it's got to be good. It's just so dramatic.
There's a lot of options.
I would see. It's like I have a good thought. Shut up! Oh, how about this? No! That affects everything else. Okay.
Or anything you could change about the people in the music scene, the venues in the music scene, the music in the music scene. It could be anything. This one really stumps people.
It's hard. Because, I mean, I don't know. A lot of, we're actually kind of fortunate. Like, I wish more people could hear my music. Fucking anybody can hear anything. You know, it's like, I guess I would say, see, I can't even say that. 'Cause it's like, okay. I would change how difficult it is for people to get paid in the music business. I understand there has to be the gatekeepers, and you really got to work hard in the business, but there's got to be a simpler way. I don't like that answer. I hate that answer.
Well, right there, you fucked up by saying musician paid.
I don't like it.
Those two words don't go in the same sentence very much.
Starving artist. Does that ring a bell?
Here, I'll give you some tips. We've had one that was pay to play.
Yeah.
And
I'm so far off from that. I don't do it. I can't stomach it. I don't do it anymore.
And we've had one guy say that he wishes he's a recovering alcoholic, so he wishes there was more dry venues for people like him because he's afraid to go to shows sometimes because he doesn't want to be around it.
Yeah.
There's What was the other ones?
Burn the whole fucking thing down, start over. Oh wait, that's my answer. Sorry. There's so many different things, and it's not even a general thought like that. Mine, literally, I would if I was asked that question, the thing I would say and be crucified for it, as I wish the whole fucking thing burnt down, so it could regenerate and start over. Maybe have a fucking chance.
Yeah.
But I am old now, and I get that, and I'm jaded now. 20-year-old me would have been like, fuck yeah, I'm going to take this to the limits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaded is the word I was thinking of when I was trying to answer that question.
Yeah, it's...
I would say, okay, and it's a simple thing. I would change, if I could change anything in the music business, is... that I wish music was more passionate. And I'm not saying that there's not people with passion out there.
There's a lot of cookie cutter stuff.
Right.
Follow the formula.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of formula stuff, but then when you go back and you listen to like James Brown or, the Beatles. Yeah. Even the Beatles, sure, they're like the predecessor to pop rock, right? But if you listen to their formats, it's not normal. Yeah. The song's 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it just blew my mind, or bands that, you don't even know what they're saying, but it just feels great. Yeah. This song's 7 minutes long. This song would never get on the radio today.
Yeah. It's every useful song.
Like what I was listening to Vincent by Don McLean. You know that song? Yeah. It's all about Vincent Van Gogh and how misunderstood and beautiful. I don't think that song would be popular today. I don't think it would get out there. It's too good.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I don't know. It's hard to...
Especially today, people they gobble up that regurgitated garbage. It just sounds like everything else that's out there.
And go by like a band today that's, a recording aspect. Everything is drum triggered. Everything is pristine. Man, I cringe if I have to grid drums, unless they're so bad, but I don't even deal with that. So it's kind of like, man, if you're really close, you're human. Right. You're not a grid. You're not,
But we've been so accustomed to hearing that. Like, if it's not like that or
you feel like something's
tuned
wrong.
Up to high heavens, then you're like, this isn't professional, Yeah. Because that's the
But go put on a Led Zeppelin record. Go put on the Doors.
Exactly. And that shit was done live.
Raw.
Like Simon and Garfunkel, like they didn't
Otis Redding.
Musicianship was really a lot more important.
I try that. I think that's why people don't like recording with me sometimes, where I'm like, dude, I know I can punch you in, or I know I can cut and paste you, but I'm okay if the first verse isn't exactly the same as the second verse, or vice versa. I think that's kind of cool. Like, I'm not left field.
Yeah.
But like little nuances a guitar does. Yeah, I mean, a guitar's not perfect. It's not tuned perfectly.
Right.
There's always that margin of error.
It's going to sound like your guitar.
Yeah. Just
because it's your guitar.
The personalization is gone.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, I do it. I do both. It depends on what it calls for. But as an overall changing of if it, I just like the organicness. Of song writing and instrument recording.
No, I mean, and I say this all the time. It's like, look at Iron Maiden. They've done it that way from 80 whatever, maybe 70 something to now, and they're great musicians.
Yeah,
I'm sure they walk into I know they recorded on tape back in the 80s, there was editing, but not like what we have today.
Yeah.
So why can't we go back to that? Why can't we go back to Zeppelin setting up in a castle and miking the ceiling of a hallway? What happened? Where did we go
Where did
wrong?
all the castles go?
Well, nowadays all you need is
Expensive
but nowadays all you need is a laptop and a little $100 interface, and you can make a record.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing.
It's cool, but like you said,
Not good for us.
You
Is it cool
lose
for a band?
that certain aspect to it because it's more manufactured, and that passion and the energy to it it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, and you being keyboards, how easy is it for you to get all these sounds? You know, I mean, like, I don't have that luxury, so I'm like, all right, well, somebody better find a trumpet player.
Right.
Somebody better find a sax player. Well, don't you have a keyboard? No, I'm a guitar player, man.
Right.
I mean, I have one, but,
Yeah.
you know, like, get the goddamn real guy to do it. I know
Right.
it costs money, but
It's going to make a world of
it does. You could tell the difference between a keyboard sax and a real sax.
Oh.
So it's like...
That's a really hard instrument, and trumpet, really hard instrument to
mimic.
Yeah.
So...
And I mean, there's players out there. There's players out there that would do it for $20.
I know.
You know,
especially if they came in and like
There's-
an hour of their time.
yeah. There's great players that'll, do it for $150. It's worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
If you believe in your song, you should pay that extra money to.
yeah, get them in there for an hour. That's all you need. You get some quality studio musician.
Yeah.
It's worth every penny. You know, I mean, in the long term, in the long run,
I think so.
If you're putting together a record that you want to live with for the rest of your life, because why else would you do it?
Yeah.
Do it right. Get the musician and pay them. Pay them what they're worth, and they'll be happy. You'll be happy. It all comes around. It supports the music business better than listening to a song on Spotify, because
You don't like Spotify, do you?
I do. Actually, I did hear on a news program that Spotify has actually a really good thing that they're doing. And if you have a subscription to Spotify, right, and you pay the $10 a month or whatever, and you say, okay, well, let's go listen to some music. And I listen to Madonna, and I listen to Michael Jackson, and I listen to Useless 50% of the time, and Rope Tree 45, percent of the time, and those other guys, the other 5%, because I really like original music. Their $10 minus the cut that they take is going to be split percentage to those artists.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're paying the $10, if I listen to, Billy Joel once and Brandon Hands 99 times, Brandon Hands is going to get 99% of that $10 subscription.
Wow.
And Billy Joel's going to get $1, because that's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
That's kind of a way to look at it, yeah.
It's not a radio, right? Radio, you have to take into the account everybody that's being broadcast to.
Mm-hmm.
And, they have algorithms. The more famous the artist, the more people are going to play that song. Yeah. More radio stations can play that song. They're going to make more of the income earned from radio stations that pay the public performance rights organizations. So with individual subscriptions, which, if they do this, that would really sway me to subscribe to that as opposed to another streaming music source.
Wow, make tens of dollars instead of tens of pennies now. That's awesome.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you have people listening, and that's the whole point. If you have people that like you that are listening, you should be getting paid for it. If you don't, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Anybody can put out music. It's so easy today. But if you have a fan base and people are listening, you should be getting a bigger cut.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Like, that would totally work out in my favor, and I would have faith in the music business again.
Yeah. Hey.
So therefore, that's not going to happen.
It's a learning.
That can happen.
When Napster hit.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm talking about MySpace and Napster. I'm really dating myself.
Yeah, I know. But I was talking to somebody about that, like I was reading something where it's like, yeah, Lars was right. He was 100% right. And you go, oh man, everybody fucking hated that guy for that. And like,
I hated him before that. So.
Yeah, I know, but he was dead right, dude.
Yeah. But, you know, as hard as it is, you know, it takes a while for the world to catch up and figure out how the money's going to flow. You know, it's killing the record labels, but
well, all three of them
now
are left.
it's more independent, and I don't know. I think hopefully it'll work out in the end.
Do you agree the last great musical generation or decade, 90s or early 2000s?
Great?
Yes, great.
90s.
Yeah.
The 90s were pretty great.
Yeah, they were awesome. That's right, all you kids
Oh
now.
my God, the 90s were the best.
All right, well, here on the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast, we like to give thanks to our sponsors. And our sponsor today is the Stuck Up Sticker Company. Take it away.
The power of Sticker Jesus compels you. Full color, waterproof, and UV resistant decals printed for your art, business, club, or anything you want to promote. DM his assholeness on Instagram at Stuck Up Sticker Company or email him at stuckupstickercompany@gmail.com to start your order today. Remember, Stuck Up is your source for signs, stickers, banners, and way more.
And if you tell Mr. Ian from the Stuck Up Sticker Company that you heard about this on the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast, you will get 10% off your first order. Woo. And all right, Jeff's in the other room getting ready. We're going to have a little solo performance from Mr. Brandon Hans himself. Yeah. Little known fact that the intro of the Useless demo, Mr. Hans himself was playing the didgeridoo on our intro.
That's right.
Yes.
I got that didgeridoo from Australia.
We're going to be recording that here soon, so... Ooh. We're gonna have to bring you back up to the big leagues.
I would love to play that.
That sounds good to me.
All right, this song is a song I wrote with my buddy Mike Goldie of Grinding Gears. It's called "Kissy Through the Radio." Slow rolling in a 55, your mind's working on overtime. Even though I'm not by your side, wishing I could make you come alive. How about a little fantasy? A rendezvous for you and me, so turn it up, it's time to go. Lean in close, and let me kiss you through the radio. Windows down, baby, nice and slow. Warm breeze blowing through your hair. Got you feeling like I'm sitting right there. Connected by the sound, don't stop. These airwaves got us on lock. You can drive through the back roads, anywhere you wanna go. Sweet loving while I kiss you through the radio. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you through the radio. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you through the radio. How about a little long-way drive? No need to go home tonight. Time to put it into overdrive. Baby girl, it's Friday night. Can't you feel this chemistry? Like you and I were meant to be. We could take it fast, we'll take it slow. Wherever we go, just let me kiss you through the radio. Windows down, baby, nice and slow. Warm breeze blowing through your hair. Got you feeling like I'm sitting right there. Connected by the sound, don't stop. These airwaves got us on lock. You can drive through the back roads, anywhere you wanna go. Sweet loving while I kiss you through the radio. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you through the radio. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you through the radio. So clear your mind, lose all track of time. Let the sound of my voice fill you up inside. Clear your mind, lose all track of time. Let the sound of my voice fill you up inside. So clear your mind, lose all track of time. Let the sound of my voice fill you up inside. Let me feel your vibes while we take a ride. So baby, turn me all the way up and let me kiss you through the radio. Windows down, baby, nice and slow. Warm breeze blowing through your hair. Got you feeling like I'm sitting right there. Connected by the sound, don't stop. These airwaves got us on lock. You can drive through the back roads, anywhere you wanna go. Sweet loving while I kiss you through the radio. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you through the radio. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you. Kiss you, kiss you, kiss you through the radio. Connected by the sound, don't stop. These airwaves got us on lock. You can drive Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Cool. All right. Well, now that the restaurants are open again, this one's for the bartenders. Hey, bartender, do you have yourself a moment to fulfill a mighty small request? I got this feeling you're about to say, let's finish them up, so I'm gonna do my very best to convince you, son, that this night's still young and there ain't no need to shut it down. You see, I got a slight suggestion that could switch up its direction, turn this whole thing around. So I say, rewind the clock back to 7:30, cause you know this band's on fire. The honky-tonk swinging and the people are singing. Yeah, this place is running wild. There's no reason to say last call. In fact, I think it's a sin. So let's rewind the clock back to the start and do it all over again. Well, every single person here is on my side, so if you want to double up your tips, well, there's a line outside about a mile long and the power's in your fingertips. So just hit reset, cause we ain't done yet, and you know that just as well as I, that the sexy senoritas and the ice cold margaritas are here to keep this night alive. So I said, rewind the clock back to 7:30, cause you know this band's on fire. The honky-tonk swinging and the people are singing. Yeah, this place is running wild. There's no reason to say last call. In fact, I think it's a sin. So let's rewind the clock back to the start and do it all over again. Well, the barkeep said, well, listen here, just let me make this crystal clear. That's totally against the rules. And if I get caught, I'd rather not be sent away to jail and rot away with all you sauced up fools. Just then a stinging swarm of sweet southern bells caught the corner of his eye. Well, they jumped up on the bar, he threw some honey in the jar and told the band to take it from the top. And he said, rewind the clock back to 7:30, cause you know this band's on fire. The honky-tonk swinging and the people are singing. Yeah, this place is running wild. There's no reason to say last call. In fact, I think that would be a sin. So let's rewind the clock back to the start and do it all over again. So let's rewind the clock back to the start and do it all over again. Woo! Thanks a lot, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Brandon, why don't you tell us where people can find you?
All right, you can go to www.dreamscapesmusic.com. And another great place would be youtube.com/dreamscapesmusic. And we have a bunch of videos of our students, White Rabbit performances, all filmed by image catchers. And you know, you could check out all that stuff on YouTube, and everything else links to our Facebook.
Awesome,
our
man.
website.
Thank you again for coming on. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I appreciate it. It's a blast.
And as usual, you can hit us up at jsmpinfo@gmail.com if you want to come on the podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast. We'll see you again next Monday.